I give the call to the member for Bennelong.
Deputy Speaker, it truly beggars belief that of all people in this place, that it is the opposition bringing this matter of public importance to the parliament today. Because the issue of low wages growth has been one that has been persistent in our economy for many, many years, Deputy Speaker. Low wages growth isn't a problem that started at the date of the last federal election. It isn't a problem that started last week. It is a problem that was manufactured by the Liberal Party of Australia during their 9 years of government, Deputy Speaker, and we know this because low wages were a deliberate design feature of their economic plan. From 2013 to 2022, under the former Liberal government, wages remained largely stagnant, barely keeping pace with the rising cost of living. Between 2013 and 2022, the annual wage growth rate averaged a mere 2.3%, which barely kept up with inflation, effectively resulting in zero real wage growth. In practical terms, Deputy Speaker, this meant that the average Australian worker's wage barely kept pace with the rising costs of goods and services, and in fact, when accounting for inflation, the real wage growth effectively amounted to zero. The stagnation of wages under the previous government inflicted a heavy toll on everyday Australians, leaving them to grapple with the harsh reality of their eroding purchasing power. The deliberate design of the Liberals' economic plan meant that it was harder for Australian families to make ends meet. It was hard for Australians to pay their bills and harder for Australians to provide for their family. And none of this is opinion or editorial, Deputy Speaker. We've got the receipts, because this is what former Finance Minister Matthias Cormann revealed in March 2019 when he said that low wages were, and I quote, a deliberate design feature of their economic architecture. Thankfully, Deputy Speaker, we now have a government that cares deeply about ensuring Australians' wages are moving in the right direction. Labor was elected with the promise to get wages moving, and that's exactly what we've started to do. It is this government, after nearly a decade of those opposite, that genuinely recognises how hard Australians work, from the cleaners who clean our hospitals to the tech workers who drive innovation and our care industry workers looking after our most vulnerable. Our commitment to them at the last election and today is to get wages moving for them. And I know that all on this side of the House will continue to work to help our lowest paid workers get the pay rise that those opposite never helped deliver. As a result of our government's actions, we are seeing annual wage growth rates this high that have not been this high since 2012. In the June 2023 quarter, wages rose, marking the first time in 11 consecutive quarters where real wages didn't go backward. Earnings for the average full-time worker increased 3.9% in the first year of our government. That's about $3,700 going straight back into Australian workers' pockets. Not only has our government supported the national minimum wage rises, which have increased by 8.6%, which so happens to be the largest increase on record, we have also secured and funded long overdue 15% increase for aged care workers, benefiting 250,000 people across Australia. And it tells you everything that you need to know about the modern Liberal Party, that they have the gall to bring this matter of public importance to this place while they vote against genuine cost of living relief and wage growth measures. Again and again, they voted against supporting wage growth in this parliament and supporting cost of living measure relief. Deputy Speaker, when the Fair Work Commission was tasked determining the minimum wage rise last year, what did those opposite say to making a submission to support wages going up? They said no. When the Fair Work Commission was tasked with determining the minimum wage rate this year, what did those opposite say to making a submission to support wages going up? They said no. When it came to passing the secure job legislation to improve access to bargaining for our lowest paid and feminised sectors, also expanding flexible working arrangements for working families, what did those opposite say? They said no. And when it comes to debating and passing our legislation before the House now to close employment loopholes, ensuring minimum wage rates to our gig economy workers, we also know what they'll say. They'll say no again. I'd encourage the Liberal Party to get on board and support the government's efforts to get wages moving, to reduce cost of living pressures, and also acknowledge the impact of their terrible policies that had on our wages and our economy.